Okay, everybody, welcome to our Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month Spotlight. My special guest today is I call him my little brother, David Chung. Hi, David.
Hey guys, hey Priscilla.
I know you are so busy working 7 days a week, 24 hours, 26 hours a day at the bookstore.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a little bit of bio of who you are, and then we'll get into our conversation. So David Chung is founder of Dream Books, and he has been in the book business for a decade, selling used books online through marketplaces like Amazon and eBay through his company. And Chung started Dream Books in his parents' basement. I remember this. You started in your parents' basement with little more than a computer, a printer, and a small stack of used books. And I think you were in high school, weren't you?
I just graduated.
You had just graduated from high school and you had books in your basement, and you and your little sisters were scanning and all of that, everything by hand and shipping by hand. And then you eventually went to CU Denver, go Lynx.
Yeah.
You were graduated with a degree in business, and your company is now one of the top 50 online booksellers in the country. And you process over 5 million pounds of books a year. So in the used book business, it's based on weight, not volume, which is
Right.
something a very interesting fact in the used book business. So you are quite the entrepreneur, and you're just a real life success story because like I've known you, I think you moved to Denver when you were like 14, right? Or
Yeah, I was in my early teenage years.
so yeah. And how you and I know each other, your dad was a pastor at Eden Hanguk Kyohe. And so I met you when you first came to Denver and when you were young, so young. And now look at you. You've just grown up. You're
Yeah,
old. So welcome again. So why don't we go back to the beginning of what inspired you to start your book business?
sure. When I first started, it wasn't really so much the mindset of going in and starting a business. It was more so going in with the mentality of, hey, you know what? I need to start making some money. I need to start providing for myself and my family and those around me. And so that's what really started Dream Books. And, when I first started, it wasn't necessarily, like I said, me starting a business. It was just more so a way to try to make money.
And then I remember you had your 24-hour bookstore, coffee store off of, was it Hampton?
Yeah, off of Hampton and Broadway. The bookstore's name is Fireside Books and Coffee. And we ran Fireside for about 5 years. And it was a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, 365 bookstore coffee shop concept.
And it was a beautiful coffee shop with great seating and pastries and coffee. And I just remember the times that I went in there, you had a lot of loyal customers who would be in there all night studying and
Yeah.
doing work. It's quite a unique clientele of people who enjoy a 24-hour, bookstore slash coffee shop type of concept. Have you seen other people replicating that model of a 24-hour coffee shop?
Well, I'm not sure if they're still around, but I think Leela's downtown, they're a 24-hour shop. They might be closed down, but I know of them, and yeah, I can't name any others.
So you have morphed into just selling books. I mean, you have a mission for what you do, and a love for literacy and for educating children. You shared some of your hopes and dreams and goals. Can you share that more with us now?
Yeah, sure. Aside from Dream Books, my 9 to 5 business, I really wanted to incorporate, you know, just a way to contribute back to the community, And so one of the things that we did was we actually started redistributing a lot of the books that we have. So, for example, last year we redistributed over 30,000 kids' books. We worked with Denver Health and a couple of other nonprofits to help redistribute generally used kids' books to the local communities. And we also work with a number of other organizations. We work with libraries. We work with a lot of smaller organizations like Denver Rescue Mission to help find homes for used books.
So just so people have an idea and a concept of what it means to be one of the top 50 online booksellers in the country, like how many booksellers are we talking about that exist?
Right. Well, there are a lot of small, mom and pop booksellers. Um, you know, I would define, someone who sells books even in their garage or in their basement as a bookseller. There are probably several thousand. I couldn't give you an exact number, but I'd say somewhere in the ballpark of, 2 to 6,000.
Yeah, so being one of the top 50, you've worked really hard to start your business. And so when did you know you were ready to go from your basement into an actual property?
Right. That's a good question. I I think, pragmatically, it was when we ran out of space. But it's one of those leaps that I think most entrepreneurs and most business owners are hesitant to take, as far as scaling it from something manageable in their own home to uh, going into a place with a monthly obligation and higher overhead costs. So yeah, for us, it was when the space ran out. But beyond that, I think mentally I just had to kind of go over that hurdle of, all right, we've been around for a couple of years. I think we moved out when we were 3 years into the business. So, we were able to keep it in-house quite literally for some time before we had to scale up.
So I remember seeing your bookstore space was a nice space, but now you're in a warehouse. So like you've made a couple of jumps to a bigger space. So talk about now this big enterprise that you have with books.
Yeah, yeah. We're quite fortunate. We were able to time, Denver's property market pretty well. And so, that's allowed us to somewhat seamlessly transition from space to space. I know that a lot of businesses and a lot of residents too always struggled with Denver's increasing land price and rent costs. But that being said, we're one of the ones that we're very fortunate to have timed it correctly, and we're just very fortunate to be in this large space, about 20,000 square feet now.
So all of the things that you've been learning as an entrepreneur, do you think business school prepared you for that? Or are there some like on the job things that you learned that you can share to young people who might want to go into business for themselves?
Yeah, sure. I think business school definitely did help. I had some really great professors at CU Denver, and I actually just emailed one of my old professors, Cindy Sutphin. She teaches finance at CU Denver. I just emailed her 2 nights ago, checking in. But that being said, obviously school taught a lot. I think hands-on, that's you can't compete with that. Uh, I would say, as far as what lessons or what tips do I have, obviously it's gonna differ from person to person. But for me, one of the things that really stood out is, number one, having people around you, having a good support system like you. We've touched base for the last, 15, 16 years now. And it's just been nice to have good supportive networks around. so that way I can rely on other people, because it definitely isn't possible with just me. The second thing I would say is, just sticking with something and realizing that, hey, you know what, in the first couple weeks, first couple months, you might not gain the traction that you were hoping for. You may not see the progress that you were looking for, but it's one of those things where the time that you put in is going to yield compounding returns. And so the more time and energy you put into something, you may not see the results immediately, but compounded over time, you'll see tremendous results down the line. I guess those two things.
I remember we had that conversation at Soul Barbecue. How were
Yeah, that
you?
was
You were
last year.
from your mentors about the importance of connecting. And now that we are in this COVID age, I'm personally finding that I'm making more connections because we're all home and we have a little bit more flexibility in connecting with people. How has COVID impacted your business? Has it changed anything? Do you have a different outlook? Talk to me about if you haven't had any impact.
Sure. I think we're, again, one of the, few businesses that have been very fortunate throughout this entire process. We did put all of our guys on, all of our employees on paid leave back in March, or late March, yeah. And since then, we've been maintaining just the bare minimum operations as the state required for the last 2 months. And, I think we're definitely going to see, I mean, we have seen and we're going to continue to see negative impact on our business. But again, all I can feel is thankfulness and gratefulness to still be in business. And, luckily, I don't think we're going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh no, you're not going anywhere anytime. We're going to make sure we keep you in business because I know a lot of people would love to read. As an educator, so many of my teacher friends are avid readers, and I know Audible and things like that have taken the place of like hard books. But there are people who are really dedicated book readers. They want that tangible book. Because you sell on different platforms, is there a way for someone to know if you're the seller? Like if someone wanted to buy a book and they wanted to buy it from you, is that easy to figure out or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what I usually recommend is, let us earn and let us win your business. And so when you go and you're looking for a specific book, let's just say you're looking for Man's Search for Meaning, you go onto Amazon and look at the offers available. And if we're one of the most competitive offers, we're priced reasonably and the book is in good condition and we're able to offer good transit times, then pick us. So let us win your business as opposed to, you just flocking to us just because you saw me on Facebook Live.
Okay, so when they go to Amazon and they're looking at books and all the different options, will it say sold by Dream Books?
Yeah, that's one of the.
So no, we're gonna promote you. We're going to promote you. We're going to make sure we support, it's funny. I don't know if I can still call you a small business because you're like big business, but because I know you, I still kind of think of you as a small business because
I mean, we're definitely small business still.
Okay. So small business, local here in Denver, you graduated from Smoky Hill, but your two little sisters graduated from DPS at Denver School of the Arts. Great musicians. One's a singer, one's a violin, right?
Yeah, they're both multi-talented.
Very talented. Your dad just retired. I don't know how many years he's retired from pastoring Eden Hanguk-Yohe, the Korean church. And mom is a survivor, cancer survivor, and doing amazingly well and just a pillar in the community and your whole family, because I know your family. You couldn't ask for a finer family of just love and an example to other young people. Jen, you're not millennials, you're Gen what? Y?
I think all three of us would technically be considered
Are
millennials.
you all three are millennial? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to keep up, with um, I'm just so proud of you. So before I let you go, I'm just curious, what is bringing you joy these days or putting a smile on your face through this whole pandemic?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you said about, staying at home and really having the time to internalize and process what's going on in the outside world. And I think what that has led me to, similar to you, is finding that, hey, you know what, connection brings me joy. And so connecting with friends like you and connecting with a bunch of my other friends, I've been writing letters and I've been sending packages to all my friends and family. And so, yeah, that's one of the things that have been bringing me joy through this whole stay at home.
That's awesome. And listen, make sure you get some rest.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, because I know you work really, really hard. You are the stereotype. You're the Asian stereotype of working and working and working and make sure you stay healthy. And I heard that Tokyo Joe's just reopened 2 locations.
Yeah.
I don't know because I know you might not be close to one of the ones that are open because one interesting fact about you is I know you live off of Tokyo Joe's. Um, you used to get like 4 and 5 meals at a time, but that's good. It's healthy. It's healthy food.
Yeah, yeah. I'd always go for the tofu bowls with brown rice and lots of vegetables. And so, yeah,
Okay, well, hey, thanks so much for your time and I appreciate you. And when this is all over, let's go get some soul barbecue or something, okay?
sounds good. Thank you, Priscilla.
Okay, take care.
Okay, bye.